This week, John and Dave get Chevy fever from a hot Chevelle. Discover an antidote to filthy filters and get tips from the anti-rust brain trust. Next on Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat.
I'm all about this muscle car. Welcome to Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat. And you know, it's got those coveted two letters, SS. How about a 1971 Chevelle with the modern drivability and performance of today's cars, man? This thing's incredible. And it's done right. It's done right by Chris. Chris, you're with One Off Muscle Cars, man. This thing is gorgeous. Tell me about your company.
We've been around for about 10 years now. We specialize in full rotisserie restorations, such as this, and early model muscle cars.
Let's talk specifically about this 71 Chevelle, man. Start with the engine and we'll just work our way back. I mean, the motor, you're pushing some horsepower.
Yeah, about 720 horsepower. It's a modern day fuel injected LS engine. The customer came to me and he wanted a modern day drivability in an old muscle car, so that's what we did.
What about the internals of the engine?
It's got fully forged 6-liter, fuel injected. It's got a supercharger, it's got custom ground, camshaft, port and polished heads, built to the 9.
Yeah, that's what he wanted. Now let's go back to the powertrain. What'd you couple it with?
A T56 6-speed transmission.
Now this thing came with drum brakes in the rear, right, back then?
Yep, it's got upgraded to 4-wheel disc brakes all the way around, so we can stop it.
Now somebody like myself, I want to ride, I want it to be comfortable. It's got the classic elegant look, but you also match that inside as well. Take me through the interior. Yeah,
the interior, we kept the original style interior, but we added more modern bolstering to keep it more comfortable. We added digital gauges so you can get the accurate readout, and we added a more modern stereo too. As long as safety was first priority too, so we added 3-point safety retractable seatbelts.
So everything in there, I mean, you got the safety, you got the sound, you got everything going on digital. The engine is drivability, engine performance, all computer command control, so I got the modern amenities there. Kind of goes back to the trunk as well. Take us through the trunk.
The trunk, we did a full boxed in, so it's nice and quiet. We hid all the electronics, the battery, all the air ride, all the stuff you don't want to see and all the stuff you don't want to hear. It's all hidden back there, so and it's nice show quality as well.
Now, Chris, One Off Muscle Cars, I come to you as a customer. Can I bring you an old junky car? Are you going to find me a car? How does it work?
Yeah, a lot of our customers, they have cars and they want me to restore them for them. A lot don't. This customer actually did not. We located a donor car for him and we did a full rotisserie restoration on it, exactly the way he wanted.
Now, exactly what he wanted. How did you come up with the decision, and did the car look like this originally?
No, the donor car was really rough, a lot of rust. So I sat down, I worked with him, and we came up with this. We wanted the original style look with the modern day performance and drivability. So again, we did the rotisserie restoration. We changed every piece of sheet metal on the car, and here we are. Now, what's some of your other builds? We got a bunch of cool builds. We got a 73 split bumper, twin turbo LS. We do a lot with LS conversions. We don't just do full rotisserie restorations. We work with our customers. A lot of them just want LS conversions, custom paint jobs, anything really for muscle cars we do. And that's the beauty of it. I mean, you can do engines, you can do suspension, you do the body work, you do it all. But really, I want to take it for a ride. Well, Chris, you guys hit a home run here, man. This thing is driving phenomenal. It's got the modern technology of a new car. It's incredible, man. How'd you achieve all this? Well, with the modern day LS engine and the 6-speed transmission, along with all your safety, like your modern day seat belts, your air conditioning, and your digital gauges, it really feels like a modern day car. Yeah, it does. I mean, I can see the gauges are all working. The interior as well, the seats, man. I feel like I'm in a brand new car. It's incredible. Yeah, those bolstered seats, they really wrap around you and make you feel like you're in a new car, so. No doubt about it. Now, all this was in the planning, wasn't it? Yep, that's what the customer wanted, so this is exactly what we built for him, and that's what we do best. Is the dude old like me? I mean, I want new modern technology, but man, the drivability, the power's there, man. I mean, we got all the horsepower in the world, don't we? Oh yeah, 700 horsepower, she goes. Yeah, she does go. Speaking of going, well, I'm gonna have to actually take this thing on a test drive, a long test drive. We're gonna take a little road trip, but you stick around. We'll be back with more Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat, is brought to you by Tom's Bronco Parts, the largest inventory around of 66 to 77 Ford Bronco parts and accessories. Borla, the world's most winning exhaust. NH Oil Undercoating, the official oil-based rust prevention system. KIKKER Performance Audio, living loud. And by Top Coat. Make life easier.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat. I am Dave Dobson, and I'm here all by my lonesome in the studio because my partner John Gardner is out on the road.
All right, we're back at NHOU Protective Coatings, and we're talking with Joe now. Joe, you've become the mad scientist in this segment. We've been here for a couple episodes. You may have seen them. I believe the product is the best on the market, but we don't have to believe me. We're going to prove it today. But before we do that, tell me a little bit about the company.
So we're in the business of empowering people to become proactive and extend the life of their vehicle. Okay, we're a family-run business. We got into the business by first-hand knowledge, me losing my trucks. We live in New England. They lay a lot of de-icing chemicals down. The de-icing chemicals are very corrosive, and the toll is quite extensive and expensive to our vehicles. So we're just trying to help people be proactive and extend the life of their vehicle.
Now, proactive, getting it coated and recoated every year, make sure you're taking care of that. But the neat part is, me and you, we didn't get some MIT graduate certificate, but you've learned on your own. You make sure this product is the best on the market.
Actually, we have a goal, internal goal, and I'm going to tell anyone, be proactive. If you could find a better product, use it. If you find a different technique, try it. We want to get people to think proactively, but our internal goal is to have the best product on the market, and that's why we invested in this cabinet. It's a $15,000 American standardized B117 testing cabinet. It was a big investment for us. It's about a $15,000 cabinet, but everything that we do in there, the procedures and the equipment, from the water and the salt solution, the percentages, all standardized. We have to follow it. And we use our competitors in here all the time. And we are running a test right now. And we see how many hours we can outperform the leading competitor. And our goal is, and always at the top of my wish list with my chemist, is performance upgrade, performance upgrade. We intend on having the best product on the market.
Now, you say with your chemist, I mean, you actually been to their facility as well, and you're trying to match exactly what they're doing and doing actually a second check on the product right here.
Yeah, so what we do is we have a quality control. We have a fantastic toll manufacturer who has a superb record of being nothing but a quality industry standard and toll manufacturing. But we have a viscometer. We've synced the two viscometers so that when his product is done, he's checked it. I recheck the surface tension. We can check the grind, the dispersion. I can do a stability check. I can do a sag, make sure that it's the right viscosity and it's not going to drip on the product, and then ultimately a performance test. And this is all in an effort to just keep the quality control there. And then we spray the product. So we have about 3,000 vehicles going through our shop each year, and we don't just produce this product, but we actually use this product.
Now tell me what's going on inside of that cabinet in layman's terms. I mean, you're actually applying salt. I know it's not the perfect situation. Everything's a little bit different, but this is what's happening in the real world.
So that is what that does is simulates accelerated use. We actually have a product in there right now that has less than 20 hours and there's more than 5% corrosion on it. I'm not going to make public any of the competitors, but it's sad when people buy that product and pay good money and they think they're getting protection. They're not. This cabinet will produce salt fog at a certain temperature, the controlled temperature, and a controlled volume. And what we do is, in most cases, let this run for almost 2 months and see how many hours before you actually get more than 5% corrosion.
Well, it is sad, Joe. I mean, education's the key, and you guys do that here as well. Now, I went and I got some bed liner, I coated it, I thought I was stopping the rust. That's not the case.
No, you cannot cover over rust and trap moisture and oxygen below the surface. Here's an example of somebody who did that. The only thing you do is make the surface look pretty for a while, but the product is not stopping it from oxidizing. And that's what oil does differently. It actually penetrates through the rust down to the good metal, displaces moisture, removes oxygen, and you stop oxidation as long as you take either of those out of the equation.
Now, this quality control here, it extends to out in the field. I was talking to your son. It's a family business, Joey. He was talking about you guys shoot it here, you use it here, so your outside vendors run into a problem. It's probably nothing new that you haven't seen.
By the time that the product actually gets to our dealers, it's been in our shop for almost a year, and some selected dealers. What's really critical here, and everyone has to understand, is an above average product is completely worthless if you don't get a good application. So a below average application renders that good product useless. So we factory train everybody. We have the largest selection of rust-proofing equipment in the country, and we have everyone come in here and go through a whole training program so that you get the best product applied properly and result.
What's your website? Where can they find you?
www.nhoilundercoating.com.
Perfect. Well, go check them out on the website. I'm going to hop on a plane really quick, but get back to the studio because Dave's a little lonely. There's plenty more. Motorhead Garage presented by Top Coat right after this break.
Motorhead Garage presented by Top Coat, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage presented by Top Coat. You know, a lot of folks take good care of their tools, but one thing they often overlook is air hoses and garden hoses. Those things get run over, they get crimped, they fade in the sun, and you get a leak like this one. John is going to show us a solution for that problem.
Well, the clamp type tool is good for pressure applications, but there's so many more. Kevin, walk us through them.
Absolutely. So a lot of guys are doing classic cars. They're used to the classic clamps. So with the clamp type, you can actually custom clamp yourself. So you can actually take safety wire pliers and twist those up just like that. Makes a great classic look. That's 2 wires at the same time. So if you're doing muscle cars, stuff like that, really great look on that. And different finishes. That's copper wire, stainless wire, obviously. And then that leads us into, because you're making a custom clamp, 360-degree seal, you can do all kinds of different projects, your axles, your air hoses, different projects like that. So
Now you also have different types of tools.
different tools for different size wire for your different projects. We can go larger for your 5-1 wire for like your boosts and turbos, and if you're doing fencing, farming, agriculture, we have the really large tool for that. So that's really hardcore, high tensile wire there. So make a loop. Going to feed your end through your loop, and you're going to pull that tight. So that 1 time around is good for header wrap, exhaust wrap. 2 times around we'll do your heavy pressure stuff. So right through the middle there, and just make sure we are not crisscross, we are not overlapped, so don't allow any fluid or air to leak out. Stick your nose in, you got a pin and a pin, just over those 2 pins and around, and then a couple of twists to lock it in place. Got a notch on the end, the loop goes right into, and that's it, you start tightening it up. So depending on the material, doesn't take long at all to get really nice and snug, and you can see as we're going around, it's just pulling that 360-degree seal without any flat spots, which is way better than one of those.
Yeah, worm type clamp, that's going to strip out once you start cranking down on that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So when you're tight, we got plenty of room here. We're going to flip it 180 degrees. If you're up a radiator hose, something like that, you got all kinds of room. Lower down in that engine, you're only getting about 90 degrees, so that you just snip off here, bend your tabs over, and you're done. So I've got the room, so all the way over, tool pops off. About 1/4 inch is all you need. And once that's down, I don't care how much pressure you're pulling under the hood. That's not going to vibrate loose. That's not going to come off.
Well, speaking of pressure, Dave's over with Nikki, and he's actually clamping a hose that's leaking. That has about 100 PSI of pressure. Let's see how it's going.
Now, a clamp-tight custom clamp can hold up to all kinds of pressure. Here, Nikki, we have a hose-to-hose connection. This can withstand up to 300 pounds or so.
Yeah.
And if you have a connection like we've got on our air hose, how much pressure can we withstand?
Well, that's a barbed fitting, and it's been reported back to us, field repairs on excavators and hydraulic repairs, between 4,000 and 6,000 pounds.
Holy moly. We don't need that much for our air hose, but we've got, we're ready to go. Because there is pressure running through, just like Kevin did, you've got to loop it around twice.
Yep, we've looped it around twice. We're not overlapped. That's a really important thing that we tell a lot of people, because air, water, fuel finds a way out no matter what. So we're just going to start tightening this down. You're going to feel it when it's getting tight too, and you're going to see it. See, it's already starting to bubble out. That's that barb sitting right in there.
And it's tight all the way around.
All the way around. True 360-degree seal. 100% connection.
With the hose clamp, you're just getting it on one side wherever the
flat spot. You've got that flat spot. It's going to oblong your fitting. It's going to find a way out. Now we're ready to finish it off. We're going to just flip it 180 degrees since we've got the space. We're going to loosen this, pull the tool back, cut. Great thing too about the clamp tight tool is you're going to bury this down in here. It's not going to be like a regular hose clamp, where you're going to have a tail sticking up and you're going to cut your hands. So you can actually hold it in your hand without cutting anything or cutting your projects.
And I speak from experience. Those original hose clamps.
Yeah, that one got you last time, I remember.
Yeah, last time you guys were here, as soon as the cameras turned off, I handled one of those and immediately cut myself.
Cut you. You can have scars for life on that. So
I do my own stunts.
There.
All right, let's see how we did on this. Let's plug in the compressor and see how we did. I don't
no
hear a
leaks,
thing.
nothing.
Fantastic.
So, yep.
Another great thing about Clamp Tight is you can put an original hose clamp over it. If you have a vintage car, it'll disguise the Clamp Tight and make it look like original equipment.
Low profile, throw the clamp right over top of it. So
Clamp Tight is amazing. You can check them out at clamptighttools.com.
Time now for Top Coat's tips and techniques.
All right, black cars look amazing, but usually from about 20 feet away, because when you get up close, even with a new vehicle like this brand new Jeep, you're going to see swirl marks. And the reason? Because folks are using the old methods. They're using soap and water and the old bucket. They're taking dirt, rubbing it around, making all kinds of swirl marks, and it really, really shows up on black. So what you want to do, if you get a new black vehicle, or any black vehicle, grab a bottle of Top Coat F11. Before you start on the outside, go to the inside. You can do all the rubbers, all of the leather, the carpets, everything on the inside, and the glass can be done with Top Coat F11. It'll clean it and protect it. Now here on the outside, you can see we've embellished the car a little bit with some fingerprints. I'm not going to name any names, but we went a little too far. But that'll illustrate just how easily we can take fingerprints off of the vehicle with Top Coat F11. All you have to do is spray it on, rub it in with the wet side of the cloth, flip it over, use your dry side to buff it in, and those fingerprints are gone. More important, it's going to be a lot harder to get those fingerprints back. If you try to fingerprint this now, it's not going to happen. Top Coat protects your vehicle from fingerprints, from marks, from dirt, bugs, and all that good stuff. Tons of surfaces on a Jeep. There's a chip guard here, which is a vinyl stick-on, basically a sticker. If you've ever had a decal and used a paste wax, you know how difficult it is to keep from getting wax on that little crack between the surface of the car and that sticker. Same thing happens here, from the painted surface down to the plastics. You don't have to worry about maybe stepping over the line a little bit and getting wax onto this plastic. That's a big problem, but not with Top Coat, because you can use a single bottle on every single surface on a vehicle like this, on any vehicle inside and out. On this brand new Jeep, of course, we have a bed liner. Bed liners fade in the sun. The UV rays hit these, they turn gray. Use Top Coat right off the bat. It's going to protect it from the UV rays of the sun. Also, it's going to act like nonstick in a frying pan. It's going to keep dirt and muck from sticking to the bed of the truck. It'll clean up a lot easier. It can do all kinds of things for a vehicle like this Jeep. It can do all kinds of things for your vehicle. So check them out at topcoat.tv.
With thousands of vehicles coming off the assembly line every year, it's a good idea to understand your VIN number, your vehicle identification number. Now it's located right here on the windshield, up by the dash, or it may be in the door over here, but you'll find it, you have to know what it means. Well, I'm going to pull up this graphic and we'll take a look at some of the important numbers. The first one there, well, that's just where it was built. What I want to look at is actually 4 and 5. That's the car line series. You remember Camaros were like F bodies and Corvettes were Y bodies. That's important when it's ordering parts. And then you go over to the 8-digit. That's the engine type. Very important. One model may have several different engines. You could have a W motor or a Z motor. One may be fuel injected, the other one may not. So understanding that's your motor, that's important. Check digit, it's the 9th. And then if you go to this graphic here, 10th is the year. This is pretty cool because you want to look at the year on your VIN number. That's important, especially when ordering parts. Started in 81 with the alphabet, went all the way up to 2001, started with numbers, back to the alphabet, and then all the way down to 2040, we're going through numbers once again. So your vehicle identification number, either in your window or your door, tells you a lot about that car. I really like the last one. That's the production number. Maybe you have an 000001.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat, is brought to you by Restore Coat. Repair and recolor your damaged leather or vinyl interior. Wild Horses 4x4. Isn't it time you answered the call of the wild? Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. 43 North Designs, the only grill system designed to adapt to you. And by Red Light Bandit, you're never late.
Well, leave it to my co-host Dave to keep his vehicle perfectly maintained. Not. Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat. Well, there's a reason for that. When you have these filters here, they're very hard to clean. It takes a lot of time. A lot of people's look like this, but not anymore. John, you got the solution for this, man. What do you got here?
I do. John, what I brought today is I brought the Revolution. I've used these types of products on my personal vehicles and ATVs for a long time. The problem always seems to, they get dirty, you got to clean them. It's always an all-day process, it seems. So what I've developed, and with the help from my dog Prince, is I've developed the Revolution. And what goes on here is we've taken the cleaning solution, we've put an onboard reservoir. We also have a rinse solution, onboard reservoir. We've made it a 12-volt power supply, so if you're in the field, like at say Glamis or out camping with the family, you can simply clean a filter if you need to out in the field. It's a pretty simple process. You put the filter on, you put the cover on, you power it up, and you push a single red button. And what's going to happen there is this filter will start revolving and the spray will go on the inside, so you're not contaminating or pushing more dirt into the filter. It'll run for about 15 minutes, breaking down those oils and dirts. After about 15 minutes, it's going to speed up. The rinse is going to come on, and it's going to clean the filter. And then it's going to speed up once again, drying the filter. So after about a 25-minute process, you remove the filter, make sure it's dry, re-oil it per manufacturer's instructions, reinstall it on your car. Your hands are clean, the filter's clean, you're ready to go.
Now you could demo it for us, right? I mean, you brought a clear cover so we could see it, and it doesn't work that way. So let's run through some of the cycles.
Oh, certainly. We've modified the filter a little bit for TV, so don't hold that against me. We've cut the top out so you can actually see it functioning, as well as the clear cover so that you can actually see the process.
All right, so we're going to run it in, what cycle would this be?
So this will basically be the cleaning cycle. It's
Okay.
about a 15-minute process, and when it turns on, you can start seeing it revolving. Once it starts revolving, the rinse fluid that you put in the reservoir will start flowing.
Oh, you can
and
hear
you
it
can
run.
already hear the pump running.
Right.
You can see the color change in the filter. And as it runs that 15 minutes, that's going to continue to spray it, keep in a wetted condition so you don't have to worry about drying.
Next cycle just spins it a lot faster?
Just spins it a little bit faster, and you can start seeing the water and everything starting to come off. And start putting the pump. It'll turn on here in a second. And you can start seeing it's flying off as well. It's going to be clean, nice and clean. That's about a 5-minute process, and then at the end of that, it goes into a little higher RPM to actually get dry.
Perfect. All automated, one push button, John. It's one of those I wish I would have thought of it products. It's going to be good. What's your website?
It is Keep It Clean. It is keep-it-clean with a K.net.
Well, check them out on the web. I'm going to have to obviously service Dave's vehicle, but we're out of time for today. If you got a cool product you want to get on the show, just email Jeff at masterstv.com. We'll see you next week with more Motorhead Garage presented by Top Coat.